Another penalty passed out for unsafe release in the pit lane as well by race control. I'll catch up to the car number here in just a minute.
Second was Dennis Halbert with a safe release from the pit box. He needs to give up 3 positions on the racetrack.
So we're getting ready to go back racing as the lights are out at the top of the pace car. So once the green flag waves, Alex Palou will have to come back around to pit lane and make that pass-through penalty. It takes about 28, 29 seconds down the pit lane. Actually, a little less than that because there's no pit stop involved. But 20 seconds anyway, 19, 20 seconds for Alex Palou to pass through. And we're going to watch the man who's won the championship 3 of the last 4 years and 3 straight years look to put on a big rally.
And for the first time today, Graham Rahal, the Ohio native, makes his way out of turn number 7. Nearly got into the wall. As the field back in the green, and Rubens VK attacking into turn number 1. Graham Rahal locks him up. Kevin Simpson's there. It's VK had to check out.
VK just about stalled out. That one car, that was Palou, I believe, going into the pits for his penalty. So one car, it was VK bogged down off that corner. And you see he's still trying to recover. That white and red car in the outside lanes getting shuffled back.
The past history between Romain Grosjean and Kevin Simpson continues to unfold as Kyle Kirkwood has now worked his way up to the 4th position. Rike, in somewhat of a free fall, is now the PPG Chevrolet of Scott McLaughlin starts to work on the rear end of that Kyle Kirkwood machine. So VK, after starting making a bold move, has now fallen back into that 6th position.
Oh boy, here we go, turn 5, Rasmussen is around. Somebody else ahead of him has bumped the outside wall, and we're cautioned. Full course yellow, that's VK in the outside wall. Oh, was that Rahal just came back out of the runoff? No, that was Marcus Ericsson.
Oh, heavy damage to the front right of Linus VK's car. And here we see Christian Rasmussen as Marcus Armstrong made a bold move. I think that's what started that whole melee. And there you see heavy impact with the front right of Linus VK. You saw Marcus Ericsson at the very tail end duck into pit lane, and indeed there was contact between Armstrong and Christian Rasmussen that caused that car to spin.
Rasmussen also was the one that caught right there VK. And that looking backwards from Scott McLaughlin's car, he got nipped in that also. So a little chaos, a little mayhem in turn number 5. And the full course yellow out again here about 43.
I just wonder what happened to Linus VK. Made that great move on Graham Rahal, and once he came off of turn number 1, that car bogged down, and he just kept free falling through the field from the lead down to that 6th position before our 4th caution of the afternoon came out.
Yeah, he made a move to the inside to try and get the position, but then couldn't get going. Like the car hesitated on him. And by the time he did, he was being swallowed up by the angry pack. So repositioning Pato O'Ward because of where he was running when the caution came out and where he was ended up after avoiding some of the mayhem over in turn number 5. He's going to move up to 8th position. And you'll see him pass a few cars under the yellow flag here, which he's been told to do by race control for Pato O'Ward.
It's Chronicle, the leader of that first stint of the race. Kyle Kirkwood with a great restart, worked his way back up to that 3rd position, and after serving that drive-through, Alex Palou has fallen down to the 21st position as we check back in on pit lane with AC.
Thanks a lot here with Stingray Rob, and man, first things first, glad you're okay. That was really scary there, but you really had nowhere to go, right?
Yeah, nowhere to go. Really tight confines around street courses like this, and that might have been the worst part of the racetrack for it to happen. Just nowhere to dive off into and no runoff. So I feel bad for the team. It's not the day we needed. I wish it was a non-points race because we need some big points now. But still super thankful. This is a great opportunity to be able to run around this place, being a Patriot myself, running around the national capital. It was a pretty cool opportunity. So hopefully we get a chance to do it again. I want another shot at it. One another shot at going towards the front.
Glad you're okay once again.
All right, Anthony, thank you, and thank you to Stingray for his thoughts. As caught up in this when David Malukas shot across the track and smacked the wall in turn 7, and Rod came around the corner when you're hard on the gas when you come off that corner too, and found the Malukas car sitting right in his way.
Stingray had to go from go to slow and with nowhere to go, and there you see Graham Rahal, the subsequent leader, nearly got involved in that as well. So great reaction from Graham Rahal, avoiding that two-car incident.
So, pits will be open this time. Graham Rahal is the race leader. Tiffin Simpson is second. They both made very early pit stops, 2 of them in fact in this race, and stayed on the racetrack when the other leaders pinned under the caution at lap 39. Kyle Crook was third. Lamar Grosjean fourth. Grosjean, another one who made pit stops earlier and stayed on the racetrack under the last caution. Then Scott McLaughlin fifth. Marcus Armstrong sixth. Felix Rosenquist seventh. Eighth is Christian Lundgaard. Ninth now is Potter O'Ward and Dennis Hauger. Rounds out your top 10.
The other rookie, Kyle Collette, along with Dennis Hauger, runs 11th. There's Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, Scott Dixon, Marcus Erickson in the top 15. Alexander Rossi, Louis Foster, Nolan Siegel, Christian Rasmussen, the reason for our latest caution, running 19th, and Mick Schumacher running 20th, but they will, of course, fall to the tail end of this field. The big loser in all of that was Alex Palou, but somewhat a good thing, if you will, that caution came out when it did, because Alex Palou had to do that drive-through, and with the caution coming out, he could have lost a ton more time out on that racetrack. So Palou running in the 21st position, then it's BK, Ferrucci, Malukas, and Stingray Rob as we head back down to pit lane to DJ Clark.
Christian Rasmussen is down in pit lane right now, getting a rear wing change. Not normally something we see in the NTT IndyCar Series. It's a little bit more of an involved change than it is for the front wing. But the ECR team has been able to do that. They're giving the car a once-over, checking out the rear toe link, and they just got a big thumbs up. They're going to have to refire the car, send it back out. I'm told he'll be back down next time around for fresh tires and fuel.
Thank you, DJ. That's one big assembly, Alan, that all comes off. When that gets damaged, it's not a day over for a team. They can pull that whole rear wing assembly with the attenuator off of that car and replace it.
Now, Alex Palou just came down the pit lane also under this yellow flag. Our championship leader back in 21st position before the yellow flag after the pass-through penalty earlier. So we'll follow up and see if Palou changed tires there or if he just topped off the fuel to try and make an extended run here and get on a different pit strategy from everybody else. Showing Palou in 19th position right now. Going to add another lap to the caution flag here. Still getting the field order set. Look at that. Look at that scene.
Unbelievable. The stripes on the top of our screen, I should say the bottom of our screen, the stars, oh, I was right, stripes on the top, stars on the bottom, and you fans have come out, and we thank you for being a part of this, such an historic day. Rasmussen back to pit lane. He will stay on the lead lap.
Who else we got? We got the one to go signal here. We're going to go racing next time by. I saw another team going out there to lay out some tires.
Now working our 19th lap of caution. Alan, you talked about race strategy. How many did they truly need to make it a three-stopper?
Yep, and just listening to another penalty being called from race control. I believe that's a 66 of Marcus Armstrong.
Stop and hold, yes.
For avoidable contact for that incident down there in turn 5.
We talked about race strategy. About 20 laps is what these teams felt they really needed to make this a 3-stop race, and we are now in that window.
Louis Foster was the team that was laying out tires and making the stop as the caution period wraps up. So we'll get the restart at lap 50 completed. Beginning of lap 51. Graham Rahal leads, Kiffin Simpson second, Kyle Kirkwood third, Romain Grosjean fourth, Scott McLaughlin fifth. Alex Palou is 18th. And the green is out. And we're racing again in the nation's capital.
Keep our eyes on that car, third in line. Sam's Club, the sponsorship on that car. Kyle Kirkwood on the charge. One driver ducking down into pit lane. That's Marcus Armstrong. For the stop and go, avoidable contact. Kyle Kirkwood making a bold move around Kiffin Simpson into turn number 2.
Kirkwood on the gas, and he gets through to the number 2 position. So now looking to go after Graham Rahal and see if he can quickly get back out into the lead and the clean air and put some distance on the rest of this field. Here he is, accelerating hard off of turn number 4, down to the braking zone of turn number 5, side by side for the race lead.
Kyle Kirkwood clears Graham Rahal and will go back to the lead, and he has already checked out 3 car lengths. A little further back, Romain Grosjean now finds himself under attack from Scott McLaughlin. McLaughlin about a half a car length behind.
So around turn number 7 and back to the start finish line. As we're more than a quarter way through our Freedom 250 Grand Prix. And Kyle Kirkwood reassumes the lead for the second time. Let's go back down by IndyCar Medical to Lindsay Zarniak.
David, we're glad you're okay. That was a scary incident, though. What happened out there?
Yeah, I just tapped the inside wall. I was starting to struggle with it from the beginning. You know, I'm dealing with my wrist and all these things, but I mean, it's no excuse. I just feel like I'm in a bit of a bad run of form these past few races, and kind of really need to figure myself out here these next few days. We got a few more races here in Milwaukee and Laguna, and I want to finish it on a strong suit because it's not been a good performance from my side. You know, I've really been struggling, and I really got to figure out what's been going on because I'm letting sponsors down, letting the team down, and I need to get it figured out.
You were working yourself back up there, though. Can you at least take solace in the fact that you are seeing improvement?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We're making improvements, you know, especially this race is taking big gains, but, you know, I just can't be happening anymore, right? Like, I'm here at Team Mexico. We need to be getting results, so I got to get it sorted.
Thanks,
David, thank you. David first mentioning he very badly injured wrist a couple of years ago, and it's taken a long time to get back to full form, and he still is discussing that in certain circumstances, and particularly on certain race courses, that wrist injury is still a factor.
Talked with David during that healing process, and he said it was going to take a long time, if ever, would it to be able to fully heal, as we see Scott McLaughlin get to the inside of Romain Grosjean. So move McLaughlin up a position. He will now take over that 4th position, but you can really tell how much David Malukas feels bad about this situation. His rookie campaign with Team Penske obviously was supposed to make it out of Errol McLaren. He did that, but now the out of his life. So that's a tough go for David Malukas as we head back down to check in and see.
Yeah, guys, here at Rita speaking. We literally just got out of medical. Number 1, I'm glad you're okay. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, I mean, got hit from behind. I was a passenger after that, unfortunately. We got a very lucky break. On my yellow, I already pitted and it went yellow right after, so there was a bug there, but unfortunately, put in the wall right afterwards. I didn't see the actual incident, but I think from where I was, it was a pretty vicious hit from the left rear to put me in the wall.
So much. So Rita's BK joins David Malukas and Stingray Robb as 3 drivers out of the race in today's first and only crash so far. The other 2 yellow flags. Actually, we've had 2 crashes. The other 2 yellow flags, both for debris on the race course.
We talked about the losers earlier in the race. Indianapolis Highway champion Felix Rosenquist Was running in that sixth position. Christian Lundgaard just able to get around the driver who sports the Texas A&M University colors this race weekend. And Rosicrucian dropping back several car races now. Christian Lundgaard looks forward and tries to get up underneath the rear wing of Scott McLaughlin. So Graham Rahal pitted last on lap 21, has been out on these primary tires. Kip and Simpson came in and put a set of used primaries on. Romain Grosjean with fresh. Those all drivers who are off cycle with Kyle Kirkwood and Scott McLaughlin. Right now, this race is very much being controlled by Kyle Kirkwood. He's out in front, into the air, hammer on some great lap times. And there isn't anybody that from the group that qualified up front that has bypassed the cars that are on the off-pit stop schedule and been able to get out there and win it, like Kirkwood has. Good fight for second, third, fourth, and fifth, but some of those guys are not on the same pit stop schedule with the race leader. Christian Lundgaard, for example, or Scott McLaughlin, not been able to get around the Romain Grosjean, Kip and Simpson, or Graham Rahal cars to try and stay in touch with Kyle Kirkwood. The bigger news for Kyle Kirkwood is he's on his second set of those alternate tires, and he really doesn't need to push. He's pulling away, so he's able to draw away from second place runner Graham Rahal, but also save on those alternate tires at the same time. Kirkwood across the start-finish line, and continuing to post some of the fastest laps of everybody in the field, lap after lap. That was a 59.40. In comparison to Scott McLaughlin, 69.70, so putting another 3 tenths of a second on the closest driver on the same pit stop schedule to him is Kyle Kirkwood. Now, Graham Rahal has fallen 2.5 seconds behind our leader. He was able to muster a nearly identical lap to Kyle Kirkwood. That lap time field, 59.4 for Kirkwood, a 40, and a 49 for Graham Rahal. Right on along with Graham Rahal. He is up to turn number 5 now, the braking zone. See Rahal put a bit of a gap on Kip and Simpson, who runs in third. What an adventure it's been the last 24 hours for Graham Rahal. In the second practice here yesterday, had contact with the wall, damaged his car, put them on the back foot for qualification, did not qualify very well at all, and took the green flag for this race back in 20th position, and a couple of those spots were gained because others had grid penalties and were put back behind him. But getting off schedule on the pit stops, working a different strategy than everybody else, the caution fell in his favor, and here the driver from Ohio runs in second spot. That's really what you have to do when you're on your back foot right out of the gate. Run your own race, take advantage of the caution when you can, and at Rahal, Evan and Landon crew, and Graham Rahal with good electric spots on the car have done just exactly that. So, a couple things to check on. We'll check on Alex below. Championship leader back in 18th position. He's on the primary, the hard tire, and he's running 17 seconds behind race leader Kyle Kirkwood. Below has pitted 3 times in the race now. One of them was the taxi penalty. He made an additional stop where they, I believe, topped up the fuel before this last restart. And we'll keep an eye on Alex below what he's able to do to rally back from that penalty earlier. Marcus Armstrong, after his penalty, sits in 21st position, lead lap, but he's 36 seconds behind the race leader. After the wing repair, Christian Rasmussen also lead lap, but he's 33 seconds behind the race leader. Rasmussen running in 20th place. There's the pass to position down in the turn of the field. Marcus Erickson getting around Scott Dixon. Nolan Siegel trying to do the same. The door open by Erickson, and Dixon not able to close it before Siegel gets through. So that's change the 13th, 14th, and 15th positions. With Erickson up to 13th, Siegel 14th, and now Dixon back to 15th place. And that 15th position not yet prepared for Scott Dixon because Alexander Rossi is right there, and he's knocking on the door.
Goes in that quickly, put on the six center of it, comes back in underneath that move with the shot. This is it. Pin number 7. Once again, Alexander Rossi focusing back forward. And he has Mick Schumacher directly behind him. And there you see Alex Palou. Championship setting, Palou came into this race with a pretty sizable lead over second place of 133 points. Right now, as they run on the racetrack, about 40 of those points would disappear should things finish as they're running now, though we've got a long way to go in this race before we start passing out championship points at the end of the day. One of the things I've learned about Alex Palou and the great shot is very wide. The other big stage at this point of the race, what they do at the end of the race, they always seem to find a way, and they will battle their way back up to the front. They never take out for that driver and his great shot is very wide. So Ray Hall pits here from second place. Ray Hall on the pit lane from the second spot for what will be his third pit stop of the race already. And it comes just after completing the 60th lap. There's a little contest. Notice in the corner with Marcus Ericsson continuing to charge forward. He opens the door to the inside of Dennis Hauger, and Nolan Siegel will follow him through. The nice pass is there for Pennsylvania drivers. Graham Roy Hall got set of primary tires, went 39 laps. So a good sit for Graham Roy Hall. The third stop of the race. He's going to come along in 18th position. Just behind Alex Palou, 32 seconds behind the race leader. Another look on the screens of that challenge for a spot with Howler trying to defend and Marcus Ericsson having none of it.
There we watch it again. The Swede makes that move underneath Dennis Hauger. Hauger back in, steps out, and allows Siegel to sneak by, and Siegel has been certainly one of the drivers on the move since that last restart. He's up 5 positions, in 2 power. Just talked about Alexander Rossi. He's up 5 positions as well as Marcus Ericsson is up 4.
So the running order for you, it's Kirkwood, Simpson, Grosjean, McLaughlin, and Lundgaard, the first 5. Then Rosenquist, Award, Power, Newgarden, and Correct back to the team.
Ericsson in that position.
We have 4 cautions for 19 laps, 2 different drivers in left. We've been circling for the first 3 laps at Grand Hall, and we've taken Sandy from that 39 to 50. Quickly went back around here, and now 51. We worked to 63rd lap of the race. Quickly was intended to lead out to 5.2 seconds over Kevin Christensen. Look out for the end of his car. And you see the onboard view on the big screen from Kyle Kirkwood. We don't have much company looking back here, does it? It's hard to look out that real way to even pick up any other car. Kevin Christensen still running in that second position, but it's takes it back to the 10-1 right now. Kevin Christensen crosses the start-finish line. A massive advantage to Patriot. 5 seconds as it stands right now. On board Scott McLaughlin, running in 4th place. Driving the PPG T50 Chevrolet. It is 150 car start. Looking to break a dry spell that's gone on for a little bit. It's late in the 2024 season. Going to the top step on the podium, and he's hoping to fix that here in the seats of our racing capital today. Here's a step back on Alex Palou. And he's 17th spot. Well, Palou's that time just a little bit over that 1 minute mark, while Kyle Kirkwood putting 22nd. Kyle Kirkwood is gaining 8 laps over Alex Palou, who's falling back in the field. Well, Lydia Kirkwood pitted about 64. So it's going to be just around lap 100 before we might see him on the pit lane again. He's the battle for that 14th position. Scott Dixon holding off Alexander Rossi. Rossi really kept up there as he tried to make that pass to down in the two. Lost a couple of car lengths from Scott Dixon. As Dixon stepped up for that right-hander and a long run down into turn number 5. So for now, Dixon holding off Alexander Rossi. That Schumacher right behind him. He's regained a little bit of lost ground from being on pit road for a long time earlier. They dropped him all the way over to the tail end of the field. And Schumacher now up into the 16th position, just ahead of Alex Palou.
Sorry about that.
And I guess every time in the NCT IndyCar series, you can say you're ahead of Alex Palou. You did okay. Now, you call that a win in and of itself for sure. Lead continues to go for Kyle Kirkwood, now 5.5 seconds over Christian Simpson, but Christian did a really good job. Kyle Kirkwood 29 for 59.2, and Christian Simpson 59.4 in the last 10 series. Goes down to 59.5, McLaughlin to 59.4, the lead got a 59.6, so all of the top, almost caught it 8 drivers are still on that 59-second mark. This is quite a job from Kyle Kirkwood. And he's just out there hammering laps up and adding his advantage over second place each and every lap. Up to 5.3 seconds is the lead now from first to second. Lamar Grosjean running in third after the great P2 result. The lead to go on the street of Markham, Ontario, the last NPC IndyCar Series race. There's also happened to be another first ever street course in that beautiful Ontario city. I think for Kyle Kirkwood, he just needs a good rebound after last weekend's race. Not one of the fastest cars in that final stage of the race that threw it all away. They contacted the inside and taking the all through the outside. And Alex Palou having issues again and have a problem with the front left. So he left into the pit box. So he had to put him rolling down, put him back in the track to put that left front on. So two very long moments on pit lane of the chase from that opening IC. And the lead goes forward to put Palou outside. So Alex Palou will be the car behind Kyle Kirkwood on the racetrack, but now he's a lap down with the race leader. Some of the Firestone Reds on the car. Palou has it out there on a huge set, a set of the Firestone primary tires. So he's on the top now. As another look at that pit stop. Watch the left front. Trying to get the rear sealed and he dropped that down before he was ready to go. Good touch by the team to stop him from driving away before that rear was properly fully attached. Now that could have easily been even more disastrous than it was for that team. So below the 21st position, a lap down to the race leader. Kyle Kirkwood continues to just have that lead, 6.5 seconds out of the ticket. Along the drive, Scott McLaughlin, Christian Rudolph, they're in the top 5. There was the Chris Award, Power Rudolph, and the rookie Kyle Palou, the highest rated rookie at this point, running in that 10th position as we continue to watch Alex Palou trying to regain form and make up for not one but 2 mistakes so far in this race. I'm talking about pit stops earlier. I don't know if you can call them up right before now. They said you before last 100. But it's going to be about lap 75 or so. Then we'll see Kyle Kirkwood on the pit lane next bar in the yellow flag. So we're at lap number 69 now. Continuing, we'll be lap number 70. So we're not that far away. There's going to be front runners coming back down the pit lane for another set of stops. beautiful day here in Lincoln Capital. 86 is our daily temperature. Our cap temperature really hasn't gone up much, even though the sun has been beating down on this road surface. And the ball is taken inside by our leading Kyle Kirkwood. And he is in typical sweet point form. There you see Kirkwood and then the lap car, the championship point leader out play. That was just in front of the AC of South Pittsburgh, who came off the pit lane, having made a green flag pit stop at lap number 68 with the pit for lap and row. And you'll see him ahead out. He's shooting a Kyle Kirkwood as we see the market cam from the driver of the David Wall. Not the big putting on the third lap, but Kyle Kirkwood putting will have that package. So the Kirkwood being on the right to it. There's other people on the pit lane. There we see the city between the pit lane. Running on the way, put that down the race. City's on the way. Kirkwood riding on the pit lane. There you go. They're down on the border on the lead. And they're coming back on the third street. And the seventh game is up to the side. For the crew, lap number 71. That is 147 on race. So we're on the crew. So we're on the lead champion back on to the field. Over the time. So the first game in the green is on. He's playing better. He's getting on lap 45. And typically fair lap the pace. There's 5 seconds down, just about 3 laps ago, and now we're down 7 seconds. We're driving our 10 with a lot of the under the two paces. He's also 10 seconds down in the guard, 5 seconds on the pace on leader. 2 games, so the under we keep up the pace, we've got the other 74. Somebody else is able to keep it on the pace with Kyle Kirkwood either. We're about looking forward so far for Kirkwood and the same start times of the machine for the green over. You see Kyle Kirkwood high above the racehorse. Now reaching lap 73 and 147. Starting at the top of the Kyle Kirkwood. Way over. And they're expecting some 10-60. Grosjean is Grosjean. Great turn early. And he'll make the stop. And then coming back top of the turn around the DJ.
Romano John's complaining about brake problems on the car, but they're going to go from blacks to a set of primaries. And that's going to be a good stop for him. See the blacks out on his way. They're going to fix those brake problems with this adjustment on the brake eyes.
Change the boundary of the top 10 as Marcus Ericsson gets on Tyler Grant to get up lights off. So Marcus Ericsson, after starting 41st, has got the charge here in this first half of the race. It's going to get a path. We have the midway point of our 22 Grand Prix and another 101. I'm particularly surprised on Marcus Ericsson with his teammates about Kirkwood and David Wall. For whatever reason, David Wall always had the third pace on the regular street surface together. You see the bodies are going to be temperature, but it's at the top of the line as we want out. We want to move up to that 9th position. And the final round we are sure. It's Marcus Ericsson. They're last second here. And the Swedes in Ireland, they're inspired drive. They're going down 63 races for Ericsson. Last season was just pretty disheartening for that driver. And Delaney really put in a lot of this season. They were doing things over the other games too. They have to hold it out. And Ericsson got the shot at 2-2. So halfway through, the 20 Grand Prix, halfway through. And coming over the 25 day period on the third. So talk about that as we head down the road and come to the DJ.
Putting the comes out of the top position, feeling a little bit slow, running with the field back in there, but he's on to be
He's still running low 59-second laps. 59-1 last time through.
Yeah, he's a hammer. Christian Woodard makes a pit stop. Woodard is in from the top 6 spot. So it's Kirkwood, McLaughlin, Howard, Rosenquist, and Newgarden now the top 5 as the cycle of pit stops continues. And as Halder will pit.
Halder running in that 15th position. Will tumble through the field as now we see Alexander Rossi contacting that replay with Kyle Gillette.
And Rasmussen, as Gillette just came out of the pit stop.
That's right, you got that. You see Rossi running out there and making those bold moves for his teammate Christian Rasmussen. Nice pass, but a neat contact with that rookie Kyle Gillette.
Marcus Ericsson, Joseph Newgarden making pit stops here. We just talked about Ericsson a little bit ago from his charge up into the top 10. Auto Ward over shot time 6. He's in the row. He's got it fired around. It continues on. No caution.
Yeah, just finished a pit stop as well. Trying to get those tires up to temperature. A couple of laps ago on that. Will cost valuable racetrack for Auto Ward as he rejoins the field. And Kyle Kirkwood's in, and DJ's got the stop.
Kirkwood's going to go on to a set of sticker primes. It looks like the Shell 100% renewable fuel goes in the car. This team feels like they have got this race in their back hand. They're not taking anything for granted, but they feel good. They called that strategy exactly what they wanted.
McLaughlin to pit lane as well. We saw a half a round on that front wing for the fueling that takes the most 18.5 gallons. And you see Scott McLaughlin make his way back off the pit lane with Alexander Rossi right there. And Rossi will get around McLaughlin.
Felix Rosenquist, Nolan Siegel, and Mick Schumacher also making pit stops here under the green flag. Will Power is now the race leader. It's Will Power who leads. Power's coming through turn 6 and now turn 7. And exiting off onto the main straightaway and across the start-finish line. So Power, the race leader, over Kirkwood.
This will be 80 laps for Will Power on this spin. He's on, or we should say he took brand new primary tires. And Alan, how about this? Ran a lap of a 58.7 last time. He ran a time of 59.5. But Will Power, a lot of speed remaining in that car.
So it's Power, Kirkwood, Rossi, McLaughlin, Simpson, Woodgard, Rosenquist, Grosjean, Rahal, and Erickson, the current top 10. Again, with a couple of outliers in there, still been able to stop in this cycle. Primarily Will Power, the race leader, and Alexander Rossi, who has not pitted since lap 47 of this race.
You talked about Kippen Simpson off the strategy of the leaders right now, but doing a fantastic job running inside that top 5. Simpson, the lead car for Chip Ganassi Racing, as his teammate Scott Dixon and Alex Palou in 17th and 18th.
Will Power's on pit road. The race leader comes in to the attention of the Andretti Global crew. So the lead changes hands and will go back into possession of Kyle Kirkwood.
There you see Scott McLaughlin moving that right away back to Kippen Simpson. So Kirkwood has, now that it's said, is taken back over the lead. Scott McLaughlin P2. Simpson will shuffle the third. Then it's Lugard and Will Power, who just made a stop trying to get those tires into temp, running into fifth position.
Alexander Rossi is on pit road for a stop. Otto Ward and Christian Rasmussen back in.
What a run thus far as we see several drivers making their way down pit lane. Otto Ward being one of those.
Rasmussen the other.
They will follow their way back in. I wanted to mention, look at Will Power, where he started in that 12th position, slowly made his way through that field, is doing an amazing job this weekend. We talked about last weekend, he started last in the field and made his way out of the podium. Another great run by the Aussie Will Power.
Certainly the Andretti Global cars have shown pace on this streets of Washington, D.C. course this weekend. With Kyle Kirkwood leading, Will Power running from fifth. And we talked about Marcus Erickson also having a good pace. He's all the way up to 9th position now. So maybe qualifying didn't go the way that they wanted it to, but they had the pace on race day for sure. So Kyle Kirkwood's lead is 8 seconds, almost 9. Over Scott McLaughlin. In fact, it has just become 9 seconds as he crosses the start-finish line. A rundown for you in the field as we're just past the midway point of the race. It's Kyle Kirkwood leading, Scott McLaughlin second, Kippen Simpson third, Christian Woodgard fourth, and Will Power fifth. 6 is Felix Rosenquist, Ron Grosjean is seventh, Graham Rahal is eighth, Marcus Erickson is ninth, and Louis Foster is 10th.
In 11th position, Nolan Siegel, then it's Joseph Newgarden, Kyle Collette, Scott Dixon, and Alex Palou now up to that 15th position. Alexander Rossi, Dennis Hauger, Mick Schumacher, Otto Ward, and Christian Rasmussen, who just came to pit lane, round out the top 20.
21st, Marcus Armstrong, Santino Ferrucci, 8 laps out in 22nd. And out of the race leaders, VK, David Malukas, and Stingray Wong. 4 cautions for 19 laps. 3 different leaders, 5 lead changes among them. And right now, the lead for Kirkwood over McLaughlin is 9.1 seconds. He's adding to it every single lap.
I've been watching the rebound for Alex Palou after The drive-through penalty, the caution then came out, and the speed car put lane, putting him a lap down. Has still been extremely quick. One of the fastest cars in the field has driven his way back on that lead lap and to 15th position. As we shuffle on your video screens from Kyle Kirkwood, the second place running Scott McLaughlin. So first and second both on the primary tire. And the next four drivers are on alternate. Simpson, Lundgaard, Power, and Rosenquist. Grosjean and Rahal both are the primaries. Big shout out to both of those drivers as their strategies have really played out thus far in this race. They are the primaries. Ericsson on the alternates, and Foster. Well, racing. Currently running at 10th position. Had the fastest car one weekend ago. Has really struggled all weekend, but a good run thus far for the early part of the race.
Foster had the pole position in the streets of Markham last Sunday and did a lot of leading in that event. Got trapped back in traffic as he pits here now. And on his way charging back through the field, just clipped the inside wall on one of the tough corners here and wound up crashing hard into the outside wall. Scott, no, that's Nolan Siegel losing a spot. Joseph Newgarden goes by him. To the 10th place. So Newgarden down to 10th. And Siegel back to 11th.
Siegel will now have to contend with the lead tire wreck. That's been a great battle for the last handful of laps or so. Dennis Hauger and Nick Schumacher, as they have been dueling back and forth, and Nick Schumacher finally able to get around Dennis Hauger. And it took a lot longer than I think Nick Schumacher wanted it to, but finally got around the driver leading in the Woodgate standing. So Tim Wortley's battling there. And then, of course, that battle for the 16th position.
So here's an interesting situation as Kyle Kirkwood, the race leader by a mile, is now come up on a group of 4 cars running just in front of him. Louis Foster, Pato O'Ward, Christian Rasmussen, and Marcus Armstrong, all just in front of the race leader. Siegel's lap time would like to see what kind of progress he might be able to make through these cars, and if he can find a place to make some passes.
Patience needs to be key for Kyle Kirkwood. There you see the 4 slower cars, the leader of the pit in that line, as Marcus Armstrong makes it back to the inside of Christian Rasmussen, and will make that pass.
Check down the leader's pit with PJ Clark.
Yeah, and as Kyle Kirkwood makes that pass, that's partially because I heard him over the radio a couple of laps ago, in section of that traffic. Overtake was available. That was by AD13. It allows the folks a little bit more horsepower and become easier as they take down. As the youth of Alabama had Kyle Kirkwood and boy, Christian Rasmussen had a handful. He had to take it up and check. Wow. He leap over a couple on the box end, and if you cut wrong, we see on every weekend, we'll cut you out. And pass you into that area on the outside of the racetrack. That's you can get in front of the racing in Kyle Kirkwood. That's in the last car on the lead lap, which is 23rd position. He's under no obligation to pull over and let the race leader through. But if that's it, that race leader's car in front, it would be difficult to keep them behind you for any length of time anyway. After that, don't get around Pato O'Ward. Take here our leader, Kyle Kirkwood, getting around Christian Rasmussen and putting him a lot down. Just to show you the traffic news, though. Kyle Kirkwood's lead was 9 seconds over second place. Not that long ago. It's down to 6.5. Young Spy Green in the fifth of this season's cars instead of being out there hammering away by himself. Next year, he raised himself to Pato O'Ward, found himself in that fifth position, went in for the goal at Susan Markham. Now threatened to go a lap down. Kyle Kirkwood with 90 seconds of that pinch to pass, and this is the first time we've really seen him use it throughout this race. Couple of seconds used there, so far alongside Pato O'Ward. He'll try to make that pass to the 13.
There's an emergency zone to the corner, and we'll see the three push Pato a lot down, and then the Pato running off into the runoff area at turn 6. 7 laps to go. We can look to him closer to the front of the pack, all the way to now be a lot down. Well, Rahal was get back on pit road for what will be a second stop, so Rahal going back in 16th place. Now having made his 4th pit stop of the race, while the leaders, Kirkwood, for example, have only made 2. Doing a very good job, not only managing that field, but more importantly, managing those tires. 39 laps on the first set, 40 on the second set. Of alternate tires, that was all of the green flag races. So now he's on their primary tires, brand new sticker set for Kyle Kirkwood. And set to be out there for quite some time as Armstrong makes the move, trying to get around Louis Foster and keeping himself as on the lap down as Foster does the over-under, picking on Armstrong, that will allow Kirkwood to put Armstrong a lap down. Are complete of 147. So 57 laps to go in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. And the leader, Kyle Kirkwood. Continuing to see his advantage over second place Scott McLaughlin trimmed away and down. Now the 4th place, 9 seconds. So that was 9 seconds a little while ago. McLaughlin running with the 3 racetrack right now and hanging out some great laps. And it could be key of Kyle Kirkwood to get around Louis Foster here to turn number 2. They're side by side, and the Englishman will go a lap down. Kyle Kirkwood will take Louis Foster a lap down to now 17 times. Remaining on the lead lap, and now next to the door of Kyle Kirkwood, lots of green and green racetracks in front of him. And now Scott McLaughlin, the second place driver, is going to have to time all that same traffic. The leading Kirkwood just worked his way through, so work ahead. And it also beginning to come out with some pressure from Christian Lindgard, running in 3rd position. Lindgard is close up to where he's just about a second and 2 off of the rear wing of Scott McLaughlin. We'll have a bit more power. Yeah, watching his lap time, he has been running below 59.1 last time too. One of the quickest, if not the quickest lap currently on track. So his more power runs in that clean air as he stops taking Simpson right in front of him. That'll still be a battle for the 4th position. But out of that academy, cycle through the remainder of this race, more power could be in position to get himself another podium finish. He could be. He could be. Might be a little bit of help from the final yellow flag, but so far, we've been green for quite a while now. Last safety flag coming out back at lap number 43, and here we are at lap number 92. That's the power. Certainly trying to get another impressive performance of late after what very fair to say was a greatly struggling start of his time within Jody Global this year. He got back to that podium now coming into our race here in the nation's capital. And it hasn't all been easy, including last week at the Chief of Markham, where that podium came after a crash and an engine swap and started last in the race. Remember, Kyle Kirkwood just 1 weekend ago did an engine swap as well. He took that 6-pack grid penalty. They're going to avoid that coming into this weekend on the streets of DC. Matthew Sayers talked about power to be able to swap. Erickson did that today or yesterday. They got engine swap, so he suffered that 6-pack grid penalty today. And there you see the battle shaping up for that 4th position. And highest winning kicking after racing car, that's Simpson, and their power coming running down as we head back to the front of the field. Kyle Kirkwood, 6.4 seconds ahead of Scott McLaughlin. So that car just in front of Kyle Kirkwood on the scene. That is Alex Palou, just off pit lane after making another pit stop. So the 5th stop of the day, the 5th stop of the day for Alex Palou, one of which was a penalty. Passing just in front of lead-seated Kyle Kirkwood. Below had gotten back on the lead lap and Kirkwood made a quick stop, but didn't touch the caution flag that he needed, and now he's just in front of the lead-seated and the last car on the lead lap. Interesting on that stop that Alex Palou had done with having to take on the front lap. He came out a lap down. Heading to stop the two, it's all big green, so as Palou comes back in, he was able to be in front of Kyle Kirkwood. That's how much faster Alex Palou has been, although he's been back in the back of the field. Kyle Kirkwood just came upon that traffic, but that shows you how quick Alex Palou truly is when he's out in that clean air. So 53 laps to go in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Kyle Kirkwood leads. Scott McLaughlin is second. Christian Lindgren is third. Kippen Simpson is fourth, and Rick Powell is fifth. Felix Rosenquist is fifth. Marcus Eric is seventh. Lamar goes on eighth. Joseph Newgarden is ninth. And Nolan Siegel having a good run, running in 10th position. How about a fastest rookie of the race thus far is Kyle Collette. He's running in that 11th position. Scott Dixon works his way to the 12th position. Then it finds to the roster. The other rookie next Schumacher and Brandon Reynolds running 15th. Then it's Dennis Honda, Alex Palou, Louis Foster, Marcus Armstrong, Potter Award is running in that 20th position. Last weekend, Parisi, Vito, Maluka, Stingray, Rob, the final three between Maluka and Rob out of this race. Parisi 8 laps down. And the drivers currently 1 lap down. Louis Foster, Marcus Armstrong, Potter Award, and Christian Rasmussen. So now this thing is ahead from third place Christian Lindgren, out second place Scott McLaughlin. And McLaughlin with that traffic just ahead of him. See if Lindgren can find a way to use that traffic for his advantage here as he tries to get second spot away. As we continue to watch the activity in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, let's check the babies on the one special guest.
I want to do what you're doing already, but we're going to kick back to watching Kyle Kirkwood and play the driver.
Well, right now, everybody's on pace, and strategy-wise, because everybody hopes that still a long way to go. But we're happy. I mean, we have 3 cars in the top 10 and 1 in the lead. So, I think
What's the confidence level that he can do it?
he's doing really well. I mean, honestly, I think we're somewhat responsible to grow the pace, so we don't know what's going to happen. Yellow and so forth, a lot of things that could change, but so far,
President NPR is great to talk to the legend, Mario Gray, Scott McLaughlin trying to work his way around Louis Foster. That is allowed Christian Lindgren to catch those two as McLaughlin makes his way through that turn number 3 portion. Oh, and the back is set on Foster. Got to open the door for Lindgren. Lindgren getting around Foster, who's running in 19th position, and he's the second car, 1 lap down now. So that is the race for second place. Scott McLaughlin in the red, white, and blue, stars and stripes, PPG, Team Texas Chevy, and Lindgren in the papaya orange and black skin, Arrow McLaren Chevrolet, number 7. We talked about that deficit that Scott McLaughlin had it down to 6 seconds as Kyle Kirkwood was making his way through traffic, and as we watched the replay of McLaughlin getting around Foster and Lindgren following suit. McLaughlin didn't see that lap traffic cost him 4 seconds, so now that deficit 10 for Scott McLaughlin on a lead of Kyle Kirkwood. This is Potter Award trying to get around Louis Foster. That's actually a really 4 position. It's for a 1-2 spot. They're both a lap down. Meantime, it's got Will Power, the 4th place driver, trapped in behind him. Watching you see ahead of him. It's Power now, who was ahead from his side. As he works his way up 7th Street to Independence Avenue. Power battling around Kippen Simpson when we were talking with Mario Andretti. So Power now up to that 4th position, and John had mentioned. Now they get around Potter Award. And the game catch it, Christian Lindgren. for Will Power. Will, 45 years old. He targets here the inside of O'Ward to try and get one of the two lap cars that are between himself and his next rival for position out of the way. So Power running in fourth place and looking for yet another spot on the podium in the late 2026 champion for the NTT IndyCar Series. So Kyle Kirkwood comes off turn number 7 and crosses to start finish line to complete 100 laps of the 147 in our summer edition of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. 100 laps down, 2/3 of the way through the race. There's been a lot of fun watching Will Power work his way through this field. First time of the season, just had all kinds of woes, braking issues with that car. Finding his comfort level with Greg Global after moving over from Pete Pesky. Power now sets up to get around the last car of Louis Foster. Now he will set his sights on third place running Christian Lundgaard. But to your point on an as of late has done extremely well. Has found pace. Still has had several crashes, but come race day, Will Power knows how to drive his way to the front and is proving to do so as well today here on the streets of Washington, D.C. Absolutely. Full push, 100%, flat out, every lap for Will Power. He's a drop back to his really good with teammate Marcus Erickson, who runs in the 7th position. Again, the power strategy, Kyle Kirkwood on the primary power safety shot McLaughlin, and the rest taking them all on the alternates. So Kirkwood and McLaughlin trying to go long as we ride around the nose of Will Power. As soon as there's a catch of breaks of Christian Lundgaard, there he is all the way down the entrance to turn number 6. I should say turn number 5. Get a view of the bump right here at the car wash. There's a bump. Power to 26, now quickly through to turn 7, and accelerating hard out to the main straightaway, and across the car in front, number 7. Hey, what can you say about the performance of this driver, this car, and this team today? Big front splits. So now what to do is certainly for Kyle Kirkwood after winning early the season of the two commanders and back with four in the win. And pretty big acceleration. Kyle Kirkwood dominating the ability. Head back on the pit lane and lead it up.
Points up with 13 to check in and with the number 7 through 4, Christian Lundgaard. They said he feels very, very comfortable in the car. After making some jokes on the radio when he's taking a practice, we always get sign from a driver. We come up to pit here relatively shortly in a little bit of time, and that should be the last stop for number 7 on the run.
That's it, about 78. And back 115 or so for Christian Lundgaard to come down the pit lane, so when he does back to a third from that. Right as that getting to the point around the race where endurance becomes a factor. It's 83 year after year out here in Lincoln Capital. These drivers rocking their fireproof safety program. And these guys who first time with the hot engine behind the lane. Very lucky to do it. When you have it go over to the crew chief with Alexander Washington in the 10th grade, and sometimes it's true. Now it's starting to get into the very part of the Kyle Kirkwood. I want to see it specifically mentioned about how kind of the exact places they use, but basically you said that, upper body, conservation, and strength, which is the key to the race because you're physically working so hard behind the wheel, every corner of every lap around here. And now we're getting to that point where we're beyond the normal distance these drivers are on this type of approach. and AD13. We talk about this racetrack reveling in, gets after the final turn. Kyle Kirkwood gets laid down his fastest lap of the race. And Walker did hit on the last check, but Piccirillo, will power, all of them going fast. Later in the race, it says this track is really leveled up, but we did something pretty fast. Final check for all the drivers. And the paper track to tell you all you need to see on the week's read about the reveling in on the racetrack. If you look at the high foot power down, as you look to the corner, you can see all that rubber. Going in and pulled off. Which is supposed to happen. But, yeah, there's a very distinct racing law and going off these corners now. These high-powered Chevy and Honda racing engines taxi power from power down every corner exit. Just now past the division, Marcus there to 82 on the series. Marcus took over the 60 into the 40 growth control. Gets in front of those, bring it back. Here, Pacey is taking 50, pushing everything on 50, but Nico Erickson on a card later in the races. How about the four-way? They're very good at cars. Kyle Kirkwood running first, Will Howell running fourth, and now Marcus Erickson to the sixth position. Big back to safety on Luigi, where he's going racing. Luigi continuing to run a number of laps down in the race after problems earlier in the event with the colored sheet for him.
The watch lap times and the gap between 4.7 Christian Lugard and 4.0 Power in less than 3.5 seconds. Will has it down to about 2 seconds now, so certainly closing the gap, chopping away at it little by little, with one final pit stop on this door caution.
And Lugard with the car of Scott McLaughlin, the second place owner, just in front of him. Here's Scott Dixon on pit road for the stop. Dixon will pit here at lap 106 with 41 to go.
So Dixon sits on pit lane in the Wolfpack, waiting for the 18.5 gallons of fuel on Scott Dixon. Is out of the way. Final stop of the day. Ford Dixon needs to go 40 more laps.
Watching Alex Bowles, the championship leader starting today. Jose was set back when he bumped a tire laid off by another car on the pit lane and had a passenger penalty. He then came from 6th to 21st. Had a little left front issue on his pit stop at lap 67. Bowles managing to get back on the lead lap. And he is chasing the rookie Dennis Howler to see if he can pick up the 15th position.
Just on that stop from Scott Dixon's Wolfpack crew. They are part of that pit stop championship. The crews battle for the best pit stop crew on the 45 cars. And it's currently Scott McLaughlin's crew that leads Chip Ganassi and Scott Dixon's car number 9, 6 points out of that championship lead. So pit stop's very important for these crews as well. And the late stages of this race.
Second, third, and fourth getting closer together on the race course. Marcus Armstrong coming through the frame first is running the first out of the second car, 1 lap down. He's in 18th position. Then you got Walker, Lugard, and Power, second, third, and fourth. And the Power continuing to close in. Skipper Simpson wide and losing a spot to Marcus Erickson. So Erickson up to 5th and Simpson falling back to 6th place.
Now we have all 3 of the global cars in the top 5 with that pass of Marcus Erickson over Kevin Simpson.
Out the back of the Erickson car, which is only 37 to go.
So at this point, the pit window is open for anyone to make it from here to the finish on fuel. We'll see some probably take a shot at it earlier in the window than later, and then of course the danger zone begins. The longer you stay out after somebody else has pitted, if you're one of the front runners, and should caution flag come out.
There you go. Will Power has done it. Has caught Christian Lundgaard. Has taken that 3.5 second deficit and turned it down into a half a second. Will Power charging to the front. Makes his way to the left-hander, turn number 7, closing in on the rear wing of Christian Lundgaard. The battle for third and twos as they enter turn 1.
So at this point, the real key for Lundgaard is his exit of turn 4. Because turn 5 is shown to be the best passing place on the race course today. So they come down here to turn number 2, over the Pennsylvania Avenue. And up 9th Street. And left onto Constitution Avenue at turn 3. Then the key corner. Get a run off Constitution onto 7th Street to keep Power at bay. Marcus Ericsson and Romain Grosjean come to pit lane for their final stops.
There you see Marcus Ericsson on pit lane. His final run will be on alternate tires. Good stop will be Enrico Crew. He is on the way.
And the race leader is on pit lane. Kyle Kirkwood comes in for what should be his last stop, DJ.
Yeah, this looks like it's pretty straightforward for the Andretti Global crew. Onto a set of sticker blacks, and he's going to get out and on his way after getting that Shell 100% movable fuel. No changes for Kyle Kirkwood.
Interesting call for that pretty global crew. That Sam Scott Honda. They went to primaries for their final stint. So the blacks will take Kyle Kirkwood for the rest of the way with his primary tires of Will Power. And Christian Lundgaard still battling for that third position and now second position. Kirkwood from the pit lane. Making their way wide open. And now is down to turn number 5. And McLaughlin just in front of Christian Lundgaard. And McLaughlin now moving over. Kirkwood settling out.
David Simpson has been on off the mid lane for his final stop on. It's been a very solid day for Simpson. So here come McLaughlin, Lundgaard, and Kirkwood. The turn 1 pit lane is at driver's left exiting this corner. No takers this time for those three.
And then we'll see Marcus Ericsson cycling in and going wheel to wheel down the below.
That was with 13 and 14 positions. Going down Rockwood is running 18 seconds ahead of Paul Kirkwood. So we're back to the top. Absolutely the race lead with about 28.9 second pit lane time necessary for pit stop. There's a new order. We have a Joseph Lewis, Tyler Clark, Dennis Howard in for final stops.
Watching leader shots on really contact with Grosjean. And as they make their way through, Christian Lundgaard into the final time.
That's Grosjean coming through with power. Having just come from the pit lane. So Lundgaard is in for his final stop.
No single for the final time of the day. And now Will Power just wanted to get around Romain Grosjean as they get past the lap time as he can as Lundgaard down on pit lane. And unfortunately for Will Power, he has Romain Grosjean holding up coming out.
Grosjean is on fresh tires just off the pit lane. Power's been out there since lap 81. So that's the difference between those two cars. Will not being able to clear Grosjean. Romain came on pit lane is huge. Chasing out McLaughlin, getting up to next lead for our pit stop. McLaughlin is in his right early on leads the pit lane.
Scott McLaughlin. PPV Chevrolet for Pennsylvania. All the power for the final time, a pocket full of fuel, and Scott McLaughlin on brand new opening, trying it over the final time. 33 laps of the end for Scott McLaughlin. And there you see Christian Lundgaard. Well, the only reason we put number 2 on that one back to about 3 points. And the one point to win, those tires up to 10.
Yeah, because they were quick to get in there. Alexander Rossi and Schumacher in for final pit stops. As Kyle Kirkwood comes to turn number 6, he's second now to Will Powell. 12 seconds behind Powell as Powell is the race leader. He bypasses the pit lane one more time. And runs down to turn number 2. Where some of those cars just came off the pit lane and will be tracking in front of the race leader, Powell.
Now, a good time is Eddie to bring Will Power in. He does not want to come up onto that traffic and it cost him any more time out on the track. He was able to clear Lamar Grosjean. So Will Power come in this time through. Turn number 5 is Will Power, who is literally 15 seconds ahead of Kyle Kirkwood. Will certainly lose that lead to Kirkwood. But does not want to get held up on this final stop for the TWG Honda with Buddy Williams.
He's 25 seconds ahead of Scott McLaughlin, so that's not enough to keep that spot with a full fuel fill. But he's seen that traffic and he's got it quite a bit anyway. So Powers is up to the lead. And there's it, DJ.
Will Power's team trying to use overtake on that last run. Looks like there's going to be no adjustments. They are going to set all the alternates there. There was a lot of conversation on the radio on what they'd go to, but it was a set of reds for Power.
Will Power down the road for the final time as he races down pit lane. And going to heat those tires and makes his way onto the streets of DC. There you see Scott McLaughlin. There you see Christian Lundgaard. He will try to go in front of Christian Lundgaard. Lundgaard too fast for Power. Will fall in. That will be the battle for the final position on the podium. So Will Power needs to get his tires up to 10. And we will see how he fares in these last 31 laps here in the 5250 Grand Prix.
So Kyle Kirkwood resumes the lead. He's got 11 seconds on second place Scott McLaughlin. Christian Lundgaard is third. Will Power is fourth. And then another 17 seconds back is Marcus Ericsson, who runs fifth. Felix Rosenquist is sixth. Alex Palou is up to seventh. Keeping 6 in his 8th. Alex Seals on the Jason Lundgaard runs in the 10th position.
Scott Dixon currently running in that 11th position. Ricky Kyle doing a great job today running 12th. And Alexander Rossi, Rick Schumacher, Lamar Grosjean, your top 15. And it's Graham Rahal, Dennis Howard, Louis Foster, Marcus Armstrong, and Pato O'Ward. Armstrong a lap down, so too Pato O'Ward. Rasmussen in the 21st position. He's a lap down. Ferrucci 10 laps down. And the cars on the race leaders retained in the Lucas and Stingray Ride.
So let's talk about championship for just a minute with Alex Palou having the difficulties he's had today. He's running in second right now, but he still needs another pit stop to make the finish of this race. Kyle Kirkwood should be done today, and Kyle out in front, working on collecting almost maximum points. If either one pole, he would have collected maximum points. But he's going to need the most laps in this race. And should he hang on to win, it's going to be about as good a day as Kirkwood could have hoped for after Palou started on pole position here in our Freedom 250 Grand Prix. So the championship will have a couple of races, 3 races to go after we leave the nation's capital. A doubleheader next weekend on the Milwaukee Mile, the Oval Track in Wisconsin. And then the season finale later in the weekend at the beautiful 11th race day, the Laguna Seca in Monterey, California.
Our leader trying to negotiate around the rookie Dennis Howard. He will get alongside and he will complete that pass coming to turn number 5. Now, Louis Foster, the next driver that he needs to try to put a lap down as Kirkwood pulls away about a half a car length there, about a full car length for Dennis Howard. 8.7 seconds ahead of second place running Scott McLaughlin. Your leaders, Kyle Kirkwood with 20 laps to go.
Loud as shit.
17 cars on the lead lap at this point. Freaking 250 Grand Prix. Marcus Ericsson has been the biggest mover of the race, up 16 places from where he took the green 21st on the grid. Running in 5th position now. Solid game for Felix Rosenquist as well, running just outside the top 5. And tip the cap for Kevin Simpson, who after the caution qualifications late yesterday afternoon, and a little strategy made by his crew, is in position to perhaps score a top 10 finish in the final lap of this race.
He can keep everything together. Should be like his teammate Alex Palou. And he put him in that 7th position. And anything can happen. Still 28 laps, 27 laps this time through for Kyle Kirkwood. As he makes his way through turn number 7, has yet to catch Louis Foster. Trying to put Foster down a lap once again.
Out of turn number 1, and racing down Pennsylvania Avenue is racing Kyle Kirkwood. Just dominant today so far for this driver and this team.
And there you see the stars portion on the lower part of the video screen, the stripes portion of the infield on the top, and you fans have been fantastic. So grateful for you making us a part of your weekend and joining us for this historic race, the Freedom 250 Grand Prix here on the streets of Washington, D.C.
Now, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will continue to be the action spot, I believe, in these final laps to fight for the final podium position. For now, Will Power not able to stay right with Christian Lundgaard, but he's within striking distance. If he's able to generate a little pace here in these closing laps as the wear goes on the tires on McLaughlin and Lundgaard, if Power is able to maintain a little more pace than them, he might be able to challenge for that final podium spot. But for now, there they are, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As Louis Foster comes to pit lane for what will be his final stop of our race.
And good news for Kyle Kirkwood. I would imagine that radio communication, Foster has to come in soon, no need to attack. So Kyle Kirkwood put it into cruise control. Up 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Christian Lundgaard came in a lap earlier than Scott McLaughlin, and then Will Power came in several laps later. We saw that race off the pit lane, but to your point, Alan, Power not really able to keep the pace that Lundgaard has had. He was only about 3 currents back, and now has fallen nearly the full 2 seconds. Now a second for Will Power off the pace of Christian Lundgaard, and we have a full yellow.
7-second lead, and Kyle Kirkwood is erased.
Oh no.
That is the championship leader.
What happened to Alex Palou? The right-hander off of turn number 4. I nearly guarantee he clipped that wall as he made that turn. Indeed he did. Knocked that, just might have lost that back end. And damage to the front wing for our championship points leader, Alex Palou. Yeah, you saw the car get upset. May have just clipped the apex of that wall, and that forced that car around. He tried to save it and damaged that front wing. So let's reset everything, race fans. Caution number 5, and it's for our championship points leader, Alex Palou.
Well, not only does this day have big implications in Kyle Kirkwood's hopes, you see that wing is trapped under the front tire of the Palou car, and that left front not turning at all. But he's going to try all he can to get that thing back around to the attention of his team.
He needed to make one more pit stop, but that's not how he wanted it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But the championship implications are one thing. Now the other is for this race. Kyle Kirkwood's 7-second lead is gone. Yeah, that car's not going to continue. His left rear tire looks like it's some suspension broken there as well, wobbling all over the place.
What a rarity, especially this late in the race. Alex Palou, 6 wins, 7 poles on our 2026 campaign, bringing out Our fifth caution of the afternoon, and there you see the contact.
Yeah, left rear suspension damage also, it looks like, on the 10 car. At least it looked like that thing was wobbling around. And Chip Ganassi Racing Team goes to work. And yes, they have more work to do on the left rear corner of that number 10 machine.
Well, I didn't see that one on the bingo card.
Well, it's something everybody's been saying all weekend is in these street races, chaos sometimes happens. And you would have thought, but yes, the chaos has happened a lot around Alex Palou today in this race.
And then you see the toe link of that car indeed broken.
Crew working at both ends of the machine, one part of the crew replacing that nose piece. Front wing section, the other going to work to fix the damage on the rear suspension. And so the pace car gathers up Kyle Kirkwood with 23 laps to go.
So if he had a spin in turn 4, that's where it all unfolded. But damage to that left rear, I don't believe he made contact after he spun. He must have hit the wall earlier in the course, maybe in turn number 3, and then turn 3, and then continued on through turn number 4, and was able to drive it through. And then as he exited turn number 4, lost the back of the car with that toe link damage.
I'd love to see that replay again a little earlier today, just to see if we can confirm what exactly happened there for Alex Palou. But the car is still sitting. Anthony Calhoun is down in the Ganassi pit.
Yeah, guys, here with Alex Palou, and we're told just moments ago they had a broken toe link. So here's the plan. They're working on the car as of right now, trying to work their way back out there on the track here. So he's not done just yet. He's still trying to figure out a way to get some more points, but he's going to try their best to get back out here on this street course here to try to continue in this race.
Basically, the one that he's racing right now is Santino Ferrucci. Ferrucci's 9 laps down, and as Palou's crew works on that, if they can keep him less than 9 laps down, then he'll save that one position and the championship points that go with that one spot in the race. He's not going to fall any further down than Ferrucci because the 3 cars in the field behind Ferrucci in the standings have all been out of the races very early on.
So currently 1 lap down is Alex Palou, and his hopes that that crew can fix that rear toe link on the left end of that car and get him back up into track 2 on its point. And Santino Ferrucci still 9 laps down, as now Kyle Kirkwood's 12-second lead has all gone away.
So Palou rolling from the pit lane and back out onto the race course.
Actually 3 laps down.
Yep.
So that crew doing a good job getting that toe link on the left rear repaired. So what does this mean in the strategy? We've got Kyle Kirkwood, the fastest car in the field all day long on primary tires. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all on the softer yet quicker alternate tires.
Well, so far in the race, nobody has shown the ability to stay with Kyle Kirkwood except Alex Palou when he was up there earlier in the race. So can Scott McLaughlin or Christian Lundgaard or Will Power muster up a little more of a challenge to the guy that's leading the race than they've been able to so far is what question remains to be answered.
Otto O'Rourke, Christian Rasmussen, both coming back down pit lane one final time.
Those were cars that are not on the lead lap that have to pass through the pit lane and be positioned at the back of the field because we're inside 25 laps to go in the race.
They were in the middle of the field, so indeed that is correct. So to keep the lap cars from holding up the proceedings, they have been moved to the rear end of the field. What a beautiful sight. And we expect a fantastic finish to this, the Freedom 250 Grand Prix.
This is a camera at the Washington Monument looking back on the National Mall in our Grand Prix course. How about that?
Stunning.
All right, 1 to go is the signal. So we're going racing next time by. The restart will come with 19 to go. cars separating anybody racing 4 spots. We've got 15 on the lead lap. They're all nose to tail on the race course. And I think that, as sometimes happens in these races when you get a late caution, it brings more caution. We may not have seen the last of the yellow flags. We'll find out.
I will say the one person I think this really benefits is Will Power. Just lost touch with Christian Lundgaard in these final stages, but really had to push to catch Lundgaard. So now Will Power with more push to pass than Christian Lundgaard. He has 67 seconds, Lundgaard 55, McLaughlin 46, and Kyle Kirkwood with 42. The field making their way through this final portion of the course. The pace car pulling away. And Kyle Kirkwood through turn number 6 now sits up through turn number 7. 19 laps to go this time by.
Green flag is out, and Kirkwood does not get one away from McLaughlin. Into turn 1, a challenge for a race lead. And McLaughlin bounces off the wall, trying to make that pass.
Severe damage, substitute Felix Rosenquist around. Field making their way down into turn number 2, so McLaughlin was damaged. Rosenquist was damaged. Full course caution on the course.
Oh, he went for it. McLaughlin went for it. It just didn't work out. Kirkwood didn't get away from him right away. He knew he had to pounce right then. He tried it in turn 1. It just didn't work out for Scott McLaughlin.
He has talked all weekend how important this race was to him to win, and took advantage of that small opening that he had. Made heavy contact with the outside retaining wall into turn number 1. There you see the damage to the front right of that car, the rear wide of that car, and Scott McLaughlin's day is over. Here's the run, and the Kyle Kirkwood moved to the outside. McLaughlin took advantage of it. Now just ran out of room.
He tried to make a pass at a place where we haven't seen many passes. He knew he had to gas it up, and he caught that tire pack. Just ran out of room, and you see the damage to the number 3 car. But again, what this race means to people to be the winner of the 250 Grand Prix, nobody's going to remember who finished second. He went for it. He saw that Kirkwood didn't get away from him right away, and he took his shot in that first corner. Now, behind them, that was Rosenquist, who might have caught a piece of that tire barrier wrap that McLaughlin ripped off. And there the end result for Felix Rosenquist.
Right along with Christian Lundgaard, who started 3rd. You see McLaughlin in the wall, and Lundgaard with a great run, nearly a car length behind Kyle Kirkwood. Here we see a vantage point from the rear wing of Kyle Kirkwood. There goes Scott McLaughlin. That back end just stepped out, carrying way too much speed into turn number 1. What a tough finish for the day for the Kiwi/American Scott McLaughlin.
Well, heartbreak for Scott McLaughlin. As he is flying from that machine, he went for it. It just didn't work out.
In an event with the magnitude that is this Freedom 250 Grand Prix, anything besides a win just won't do.
So indeed, we worked on with the last of the caution flags. AMR safety team looking to repair that tire pack and the wrapping that goes around it as part of the safety measures. There they are, hard at work, very good at what they do, and very expediently repaired. And the accident scene will be cleared now at the other end of the main straightaway, removing the Scott McLaughlin car with the help of a wrecker after the suspension damage to that machine. Repositioning Felix Rosenquist's car toward where he belongs among the lead lap machines. And so we'll line him up and do it again. And still a lot of racing left to go. 17 of the 16 laps to go when the leaders come to the finish line this time.
Certainly Kyle Kirkwood will pick put that inside in that memory bank and not do that again.
He went pretty late in the restart zone. That was the tactic that time. The restart zone starts back in turn 6. He waited till they were coming out of turn 7 to go. And like I said, just didn't get away from McLaughlin. So Scott went for it, knowing he hadn't been able to do anything with Kirkwood all day. And another look. Just, yeah. That's pretty hard slap of that wall, too. And Rosenquist running over that safety barrier banner and just nosing in to the barrier a little bit himself.
I think that broke that rear end loose when he ran over it and lost control of the car. And unfortunate for Felix Rosenquist, who is having an extremely good day.
All right, so we're going to get him ordered up and get ready to do it again. They towed the Scott McLaughlin car away from where it came to rest.
Let's give you a running order quick while we have a moment. Kyle Kirkwood is your leader. Christian Lundgaard second. Will Power third. But it's Marcus Ericsson. Kippen Simpson your top 5. Then Nolan Siegel. Joseph Newgarden. Scott Dixon. Ricky Kyle Collette. Alexander Rossi. They are your current top 10.
Kids will be over this time, though I doubt we'll see any takers among the front runners. So looking a little further back, 11th is Mick Schumacher. Very nice run for Schumacher after he started in the back row of the field in 24th position. 12th is Romain Grosjean. Graham Rahal 13th, Felix Rosenquist 14th, and he's the last one on the lead lap. Cars a lap down or more include Dennis Hauger, Marcus Armstrong, Louis Foster, Pato O'Ward, and Christian Rasmussen. Alex Palou is 3 laps down in 20th. Then you've got Scott McLaughlin, Santino Ferrucci, 9 laps down in 22nd, and the cars that have been out of the race since early on, Rita CK, David Malukas, and Stingray Robb.
As long as Ferrucci can keep things together, he will gain 1 position as Scott McLaughlin out of this race. So if things run as stands right now, Santino Ferrucci could finish in that 21st position, barring any more incidents here on the race course.
All right, so they had to give everybody the opportunity to pit and come to the line and get the one-to-go signal. So one more lap and we go green flag racing once again here in the 250 Grand Prix. So the restart's going to come with 13 laps to go. And again with some 13 cars on the lead lap. What's going to happen this time?
It's going to be interesting. Kyle Kirkwood with a win thus far this year on the streets of Arlington. We talked about Christian Lundgaard. He won on the road course in Indianapolis and at Road America. The last time Will Power stepped over the top step of the podium was in Portland 1 year ago.
So lights are out on the pace car. It accelerates away from the field on 7th Street. And the field in control of race leader Kyle Kirkwood. The 27-year-old from Jupiter, Florida, a 6-time winner of the NTT IndyCar Series, second in the championship starting today. He will not take the championship lead, but he'll make a little bit of an impression into his deficit to Alex Palou heading to the final 3 races over the next 2 weekends.
We will have 13 laps to go when the field takes the green flag. Kyle Kirkwood a little bit quicker this time too. Green flag back out here in the streets of DC.
It's a gap on Christian Lundgaard of about 4 car lengths as they go through turn 1 this time. Everybody's single file through the corner and accelerating down Pennsylvania Avenue. 13 laps to go.
Kyle Kirkwood out to a 4-car length advantage over Christian Lundgaard through turn number 2. Lundgaard there to about a 3-car length lead over Will Power for that 3rd position. The big battle, Marcus Ericsson, Kippen Simpson, and Nolan Siegel.
Stacking up there as they went into turn number 2. Now they work their way around turn number 4 and come off onto the next passing zone on the race course. The run up 7th Street to Independence Avenue. Kirkwood with a few car lengths on Lundgaard. Power clear of Ericsson for now as they exit the corner and race by the Air and Space Museum of the Smithsonian.
What a day this will be for Andretti Global. As it stands now, first, third and fourth. And Kyle Kirkwood stretches out that advantage over Christian Lundgaard. 1.1 seconds. Lundgaard there. The Power, Ericsson, Simpson in the top five. There you see the battle for that fourth position. Ericsson has it. Kick with Simpson trying to take it away.
Work their way down Pennsylvania Avenue. Nobody able to make a move at this point. The braking zone, a challenging one at the end of this straightaway. Top three still in the same order around the corner at that race back a little further on than we're watching there from fourth, fifth, and sixth on back.
What a drive for Kiffin Simpson after crashing in qualifying yesterday, now running in that fifth position, trying to take that fourth position away from Marcus Ericsson. Ericsson with a fantastic drive throughout this entire day, started in the middle of the field and has driven his way up to that fourth position.
Seventh place changing hands. Scott Dixon getting by Joseph Newgarden. Now Newgarden feeling some pressure from behind. It's the rookie Kyle Collette into the braking zone at turn 6. Not able to make the move there as the track tightens up. Collette will follow Newgarden and continue to try and challenge for that spot.
That young Brazilian had such a great run going last weekend, threw it away with an incident late in the race. But Kyle Collette has been quick thus far in 2026, just hasn't had the ability to put everything together in these late stages of the race.
So looking at Newgarden trying to hang on to that spot as Kyle Kirkwood legs out again away from Christian Lundgaard. Kirkwood has led most all of this race. And, there's another look on the replay of Scott McLaughlin as he went for the move on Kirkwood. And caught the barrier exiting turn number 1 on the restart before this past one.
So Kyle Kirkwood through turn number 7. It will be 10 laps to go in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. This time by the lead now 1.4 seconds. Kirkwood over Christian Lundgaard.
And Will Power drifting a little further back. We've gotten into that point of the race where the endurance, the wear, the difference in cars shows here as Kirkwood continues to try and extend his advantage. He has just not had much to worry about all race long, except perhaps an ill-timed caution. And got the lead from Alex Palou on the very first lap of the race and has barely been headed since. The closest challenge was on that Scott McLaughlin move on the restart before last. And that was at a point on the racetrack where it was going to have to really be something else for it to stick.
Oh, the fatigue that these drivers must be feeling with just 10 laps to go must be immense. Kyle Kirkwood through turn number 6, now turn number 7. Lundgaard still in pursuit as Will Power has fallen off the pace. His teammate Marcus Ericsson slowly trying to catch up. Kirkwood, Lundgaard, Power, Ericsson, and Simpson, your top 5, 9 laps to go.
You know, another driver to give some credit to on the day is Nolan Siegel, the young driver from Palo Alto, California, who's running in 6th position right now in that car number 6 for Arrow McLaren. His best finish in his IndyCar career is 7th, which he did in August of 2024 on the oval outside of St. Louis Worldwide Technology Raceway. So Siegel in position to possibly get his best IndyCar career finish here in the nation's capital.
And Nolan Siegel does not have a home yet in 2027 as Scott Dixon will be moving over to Arrow McLaren. So too will Felix Rosenquist. So Siegel and Christian Lundgaard are on the outs as they currently run second for Lundgaard and Nolan Siegel in that 6th position.
Across the line, 8 laps to go for Kyle Kirkwood around turn number 1. And headed up Pennsylvania Avenue again. The advantage is 1.1 seconds over Christian Lundgaard. Will Power has fallen 4 seconds back in 3rd. And he's got about a 1.5 second advantage on Marcus Ericsson, who runs in 5th.
I will say this.
4th, rather.
And I'll say this. Christian Lundgaard's not done yet. He was pushing down into turn number 2. It was a 1.5 seconds. He's got it back down to a second. And if there's a driver that can chase someone down in the late stages of the race, that is Christian Lundgaard. He will be driving that Arrow McLaren Sheen for everything it's got. As we make their way through the turn number 5 portion of the course, it'll be 7 to go this time through.
Lundgaard on the softer tires, the Firestone red sidewall tires. Kirkwood on the primary tires, the black sidewall harder tire. But it doesn't matter what tire's been on that 27 car today. It's been the class of the field.
An interesting call from Brian Herder to go with those primary tires for this final stint. But when you need longevity, Kyle Kirkwood not only has the car with the speed, but the tires to go the distance here in this last stage of the race.
Alex Palou running 3 laps down in 20th place. Looks to be where he will finish, barring anybody falling out of the race within the next 4 laps. So Kirkwood and Lundgaard work their way now through turn number 5 and come down Independence Avenue to Maryland.
What a day this has been for the driver from Jupiter, Florida, Kyle Kirkwood, considered one of the favorites at the start of this weekend.
Christian Lundgaard pressing really hard off turn number 7. Back into that car, broke loose on him. He almost caught the outside wall with the right rear. Managed to gather it up and keep it off the wall. But it's going to cost him a little bit more ground to Kyle Kirkwood. Dropped it a half second behind him now. And even 2 seconds is the deficit for Lundgaard as he presses hard to try and find some way to win this race.
2-second deficit for Lundgaard. Kirkwood has that advantage, and then it's another 3 seconds back to Will Power, and then another 3 seconds back to Power's teammate Marcus Ericsson. Here's the stop, and a bit of a advantage, disadvantage you saw for Christian Lundgaard. Boy, Alan, he nearly touched that wall.
He really did, yeah. I wasn't kidding. And managed to somehow keep it off the wall. And not ruin completely the finish of his race here in the final 6 laps. Top 5 to go for Kirkwood. On board with Kirkwood on the Sam's Club machine for Drake Roll.
Well, that brief moment for Christian Lundgaard has put himself down nearly 3 seconds behind Kyle Kirkwood as Kirkwood continues to check out with just 5 laps remaining in this Defeated 250 Grand Prix. What an amazing day for this young American driver. What did it mean for him to win in our nation's capital? The Freedom 250 Grand Prix. The young driver, Kyle Kirkwood, 6 wins in his career. 1 earlier this year on the streets of Arlington. First ever event there. And the first time here in the streets of DC, a commanding lead. 3.1 seconds for Kyle Kirkwood with just 4 laps to go.
Flawless performance.
It has just been flawless and an amazing day. At not one point in this race, with the exception of the restart that took out Scott McLaughlin, have we seen any flaw in Kyle Kirkwood's performance. He has just been picture perfect all day long.
Exception of Graham Rahal leading on an alternate set of pit stops from laps 39 to 50. Kirkwood hasn't given up the lead on the racetrack under the green flag, except for when he got down the pit road for his stops. Other than that, he's been out in front of this race since lap number 51. Pretty impressive performance for sure. So 3 laps to go for our race leader now, bypassing again the pit lane and exiting off Pennsylvania Avenue onto 9th Street, wrapping around the beautiful National Archives building where so much of our nation's history is preserved in the podium.
What an amazing setting this has been. What a wonderful weekend it has been. Racing here on the hallowed grounds of our nation's capital. The NTT IndyCar Series, all of you great race fans have made this such a special event. As Kyle Kirkwood works his way down and through turn number 6, and now through turn number 7, 2 laps to go this time by.
So his final 2 laps around this streets of Washington, D.C. circuit. The dream that began back in January that came to fruition today. Fans still reading inside the race course. We see out there, watching these drivers fight out in one of their longest and toughest races of the year, celebrating one of his 250th birthday. In a way that is so unique, and NTT IndyCar Series drivers so proud to be part of this. Through the monument grandstands for Kirkwood. Back down to hang a left on Independence Avenue, past the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. Under the Boeing Bridge now, the tough braking zone for turn number 6 onto Maryland Avenue and off onto 3rd Street. The white flag is out, and he's on the final lap. Kyle Kirkwood, 1 lap away from victory.
Oh, the celebration will be one for the ages. The American kid driving in the shadow of our nation's capital makes his way down Pennsylvania Avenue and through turn number 2. Kyle Kirkwood trying to claim his 7th win in his NTT IndyCar Series career. He's just a half a lap away from winning here on the streets of DC in the Freedom 250 Grand Prix.
Between the National Gallery and part of the Sculpture Garden, he rolls up 7th Street to turn number 5 for the final time. Cleanly through that tricky corner and down the straightaway to the final 2 turns. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy awaits in the starter stand with the checkered flag in hand. He waits it for Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida. 250 Grand Prix. Christian Lundgaard will be 2nd. Will Power will round out the podium finishers in 3rd. What a day, what a drive for Kyle Kirkwood and the Andretti Global team.
Now the Sands truck crew come to greet their driver as they burst out on the pit lane. The American from Jupiter, Florida, and there's the ice bath. What a crew. Oh, what a great day. History-making performance for Kyle Kirkwood here on the streets of our nation's capital, Andretti Global. 1st, 3rd, and 4th. It's Kirkwood Lundgaard from Aaron McLaren 2nd, and Will Power rounds out our podium today.
Our podium finishers come around the race course to wave to you and salute you and celebrate with you. At the end of this spectacular day here, Kyle Kirkwood rolling down past the monument streets and the monument stands now right between the Stars and Stripes zone.
What a view of the grandstand. The fans have just been amazing all weekend long. They showed up bright and early yesterday for day number 1, and a big thank you to you for coming out and spending your weekend with us today as Christian Lundgaard makes his way through turn number 7, but you fans have been spectacular. Our hats off to you for allowing us to come and race in the streets of DC. The welcome was so overwhelming. We thank you for coming out and being with us and a part of this great event today. There he is, headed down the front straightaway. Kyle Kirkwood, career win number 7. 2nd win of 2026. Time to celebrate. Well, as he began that donut, had to throw it back in reverse, right out of a little room there. There you go. Kyle do a little drag down into turn number 1. Boy, he will be greeted by
Moment, absolute domination. As an American driver racing here on the streets of Washington, D.C., Kyle, put this moment in perspective for us.
You can't even put it into words. This is incredible. I'm almost in tears here. This is a big moment for us. Big moment for America here, the 250, right? Big moment for Andretti. Big moment for Sam's Club and Honda. These guys, they're the ones that gave me the equipment and this car right here to be out there, to go out there and perform. But man, that was a hard race. 147 laps. I'm out of breath right now, trying to get words to you, if I'm being honest.
What was the moment like driving around here? I mean, the President of the United States, the First Lady, standing right here watching you come to victory. I mean, put it in perspective, driving around this track and being here in this moment with your team.
It felt good to dominate out there, I'm not going to lie. That was a really good moment. I'm a fellow Florida guy. I live up in Jupiter, so it's cool to see him down here and right here in this race. What an incredible place to do. You know, if you can't win at the 500, this is definitely the place to win. And I don't know if we're ever going to get another chance. I hope we do. I hope we do. This was awesome. But this was, what a dream come true.
Congratulations.
Well, the celebration's going to go on for a while. There's the strategist Brian Herta, Timo Dentalis. And this is one that they'll remember for all their lives, winning this race here in this